27 to Fremantle. So that's one area of the game Saints need to clean up.
Both these sides have played 17. St Kilda lead by half a game. 7th and 8th on the table. Pavlich goes after the football. Main goes to ground. It rolls out of there. Fisher very hard to put down. Stolen away by Ibbotson. That was a test of strength. He just ripped it off Fisher as Fisher was falling. Darren Ray. Meantime, Clark missed the footy. After it goes Hill. He needs a big term. But it's tough against that man. Jones.
Tackle.
Taken high. He'll get the free kick. Just a wonderful player. Limited, but he knows his limitations. And that is a strength.
Ross Lyon, who told us more, I reckon, in one sentence here with Tim than you can hear in half an hour sometimes. He likes those sorts of players, those role players, doesn't he? And Jones has done it so well. Revolt. Good kick inside. Now Goddard so penetrating. Where does he go? He goes low. That's a clever kick. And Schneider was smart there. He went one way and then quickly ducked back knowing.
Well, at the start of the bounce, actually, Subin was trying to orchestrate himself as the free man behind the ball in around Nick Revolt's space. Schneider, whether it was by default or design, snuck out to the side, which meant that Subin had to actually go and man up on Schneider. And natural forward knows his way around very well.
He's got a good goal-kicking record against the Dockers. 20 goals against them. This is his 13th match. He's got one tonight. You'd reckon this is on his range. Needs to time it sweetly. Doesn't. Kicks the ball up. Can someone take a grab? There's a lot going for the one-footy. And out of play. First goal, just crucial, isn't it? I mean, the difference between a kick and a half or being in front for the Dockers is so much.
Almost his first blemish tonight too, Schneider. Invariably, every time he's touched the footy, something good's happened for the Saints. Boundary throw in. Clark works in front. Well, Fisher was waiting there. Punched it down. Ibbotson, boot to ball, advances at about 20 metres. Well done, Fife. To Ballantyne. They move it quickly to the outer side. Broughton almost. Battles on. Well done, Polo. Slipped it away. Geary inside the forward 50. Coming up, Clark. Maybe a touch ball. Got into the back of Clark, did he? And it's going to be a free kick. Belated whistle. And Zach Clark gets the free. A look of resignation coming from Stevie Mill. He's mellowing.
I was thinking the same thing. He took that well, didn't he?
Didn't he? Needs to see a therapist. The ball goes towards the outer side. In front, McAvoy slaps it down. Geary, Polo slaps it out of bounds, intended for Goddard. Both of those players the worse for wear. He's been injected in his thumb. And you can see the wadding in the nose of Goddard moments ago.
And Ross Lyon said to Tim, we're a couple down, didn't he? With injuries. McAvoy had it smothered by Pavlich, who fetched the foot. He did well, Pavlich. Clark couldn't control it. Del Santo sweeps it to Milne. And then Milne's handball cut off, but they're cleverly improvising to Schneider. I mean, it's an obvious thing to say, but you feel like Milne is going to play a part in this result, don't you? He's kicked 4. He's going to be so important in this last quarter. He'll find a goal from nothing, you reckon, at a crucial stage. Pavlich up. He's just a hard man to mark, isn't he?
I think Fremantle is really considering what do we do with here the Hill-Jones matchup. I mean, Jones is just getting too much of the footy. And whether Hill can go and sit on somebody, whether he can go and sit on Peak, or they need to try and break that matchup because that's one of St Kilda's big wins tonight.
McAvoy knocks it down. Pavlich hooks it. Now we've seen similar played as deliberate as recently as the Western Derby.
Can you
take that time?
Can you take Hill forward, perhaps, Lee?
Or you, but that just to basically get Jones potentially out of his comfort zone.
Montagna hasn't seen a lot of the footy. Gets boot to ball. Still in play. Zungu goes back and just takes it across the line, escorted by Revolt. Not much doubting where that was going. Tossed in. Rucks working overtime here. Was there a push in the back?
Hold up the footy.
He's a remarkable small forward. So he's lining up at his 300th goal at this venue. At the moment he's level with Matthew Lloyd on 299. So Mill at number 5. Just a remarkable player. When he comes, it's working back, but not enough. He misses out to the right. He's just one of those, and this is meant in the kindest way possible, a bottom feeder. He just gets the scraps. That's his job. And he may be as good as anyone who's done that in the last decade.
231 games tonight, so one in front of Trevor Barker and Nicky Winmar. So he's gone past two of the most famous players ever. Belted forward by Geary. This has come out the back. Here he is. Dribbling, and can't quite. And I was dying to say that 10 goals 14 is the most famous score they've ever had, the 1966 Grand Final, but it didn't last for long.
He got it in anyway.
What's he kicked? 4 goals 4, I think, Steve, tonight. We call him by his first name these days.
He's been terrific, hasn't he? Just so dangerous. From behind, Broughton couldn't hang on. Johnson cast in the role of a rover. High ball towards the wing. Blake comes back with courage. Couldn't complete the mark. Tapped away by Fife. Down goes Ray. Coughed it up. Mzungu stumbles and puts it out on the full. That was bad luck. Just lost his balance. Breakout game for him, though. Well, breakout week, really. Last week, good in the rain despite the loss. 27, and tonight he's passed that to 28. Graham's got the football. Looks down towards the attacking 50. Sets it up. Revolt with the run. Doesn't get to the contest. Pissed it away by Johnson. Taken by Broughton. McFarlane gives it to Pavlich. Johnson has to wait. Slips it across to Duffield. Back to Johnson. They took a risk and now they're running. Short one comes. Yes, you can guess who. It's McPhee. Crowd did remember that time. They went strangely quiet when he kicked his second goal. He squares the ball to Robertson. Robertson, who started as the sub, well, he's taking the scenic route. It goes out very wide. Now, I'm not sure why Kepler kept it alive. Well, Kepler knew what he was doing. Wonderful courage. Got it back to Robertson. Comes across towards Main. Spots Pavlich. Pavlich about 70 metres out. Now Subin. He'll get the distance, Subin. Kicks. Well, he didn't get the distance, but that's a good result. Hill's taken the mark. Subin took something off the kick.
Now it's 50 metres, 2 metres.
Now this could lift Hill if he can get a goal here. So well held, but so much talent.
Thank you, that's it. Play on.
Runs around, snaps, hits the post. That really signifies his night.
Well, it does actually indicate he's just a bit rushed, you know, a little bit stressed because the game hasn't been going so well. Just rushed himself marginally, get himself a bit more time.
3 posters for the Dockers tonight, 1 for the Saints. Gee, what a big play, because you feel like the Saints have had so much of the ball in this quarter but haven't used it in terms of scoreboard pressure that would have really been a breaker in some ways. Main took them on, high tackle, but he pays the penalty because he had a fair bit of ball. Stephen confidently goes on. Gee, that's well played, Stephen, and a great mark by Cozzy. So big turnover here, and now they're on. They can switch it. Peak running hard. Goes to Geary. An unlikely goal kicker. No, he does the team thing and kicks to a bloke who knows how to kick one. Well, Chris Main's played a terrific game, but he just held on to it for far too long at the other end.
It's a critical ball, isn't it? It was just a question who could actually take it out of that congestion, but the St Kilda tackling pressure's been pretty good all night. That turned it over.
Great mark here from Kaczynski also.
So Schneider, who missed the long one. What a career he's had, Schneider. All these grand finals, the premiership. He's been a terrific player. You look at him and you feel like he has actually made the most of what he's got. He's clever, he's courageous, he's a goal kicker. And he's kicked his second, and they get a little bit of breathing space.
We've sung the praises of Freo since quarter time as such for their consistent effort and the fact that their fans should be really impressed with the way they've fought the game out to this point in time. Now this is a really challenging point, but 13 a bit minutes to go, 10 points down. You get the feeling St Kilda have sort of got the run of the game at the moment. It'd be great to see the Dockers dig deep.
Here's this ball on half-back Main. Could have kicked it, just didn't quite get the handball click. Great pressure by St Kilda, but footy's a game of inches and seconds, and just that inch or two where he couldn't release that handball created the surge for the St Kilda goal.
So Hill hits the post at one end, goes down the other end, it's a goal. Now lower, they've fought back every time tonight. This is a telling kick, it's deep. Going back with the flight of it, and punching it towards the line was blunt.
The state of play in this game is really interesting at the moment. Fremantle are coming off back-to-back six-day breaks, which we saw hurt North Melbourne last week, but St Kilda obviously a player down. Armitage hasn't been on for 27 minutes. He's not going to come back on. We heard Ross Lyon mention that at three-quarter time, so intriguing battle.
You're the handicapper then. Who wins?
St Kilda.
Across the line goes Fisher, and we'll have a boundary throw in. In fact, it's got to be a boundary throw. And I thought for a moment McAvoy was going to get a free kick. You don't get a free kick for that.
Would have hurt.
Yeah, it would too. People think the footy doesn't hurt. It hurts sometimes. Rolling around in there. Stephen can't get out. Over the top came Duffield. The ball rolls away from the pair. Another whistle. Strong tackle by Fisher. Sam Fisher made his debut against Fremantle, round 7:04. His first opponent was Dion Woods. There's a name. Fisher number 25, just standing off the pack to the left there. Just getting his breath back. One of the premier defenders in the competition. And they tell me a pretty good golfer too. And a ruckman as well. Like a Swiss Army knife. Ball comes across towards Dempster. Well, that's holding the ball, surely. Fife just wrestled him down, and the umpire, who was only 10 metres and had them coming front on, must have had a very good view of that and decided it wasn't holding the ball. There's the bounce.
McAvoy wins it. Duffield tried. D'Alessandro gets half a kick away, and then Graham back to lower, sweeps a good handball. Pavlich inside Ibbotson. Bradley, they've got to be careful. Back to Ibbotson. Handball to a contest. Hill versus Jones. Jones has won that battle most of the night. Hill got it out, but only as far as Graham. And then Graham to Revolt. Big play here. It's a vacant forward line. It's in good hands now, you'd reckon. Goddard sweeps it. Geary wants a runner somewhere. Looks up. Decides to blaze down. The Dockers have fallen over Robertson, and Armitage gets a good bounce and can almost kick the ball. Good second effort, and out of bounds on the fall. It was all opening up at the other end for the Saints. Lee, the last time we were here, Snyder and Milne kicked 13 of the 19.
Yeah,
tonight they've got 6 of the 11.
They're always dangerous, those two.
The small forwards again being important for the Saints. Hill, ricochet back to him off Ray, and a ball up.
Great fan of the two small forwards in the one forward line too. They work so well as a pair, whether it's Garland or Betts or Milne and Snyder. When there's two of them, they're just really hard to match up.
Johnson won the tap. Mzungu's handball.
Throw. St Kilda. Stay out. Stay out.
Really valid point you make, Lee, because like not having two tall key defenders, not many sides have two small lockdown defenders also.
So D'Alessandro to Fisher. To Dempster with a high ball rolling and getting a bad bounce. Robertson the sub. Can he use it? He kicks to a contest. It's a poor kick. He really had to be precise there. And Montagna cuts it off. Back he goes to Dempster. Having a good season, Dempster. Hasn't missed a match. He's the grand final specialist along with Snyder, isn't he? Played in all those for the Saints and for the Swans. This would take something if he could go all the way from here. Just don't feel like he's got the kick in him, but he's given it a ride. Silvani gets rid of his man. Hill quickly onto the boot. Wants it out of play, and he finds it. So just hanging on the Dockers. They need a last quarter goal. They trail by 9 points.
Tension showing in both camps there. Coaches' boxes. Jones again had a wonderful game. Kicks it down towards full forward. Milne leaps high in the air, knocked it down. It comes from Revolt to Fisher, and Fisher kicks the goal.
It's been hanging on Fremantle. When you look at the stats, contested possession 114 to 113 and tackles 63 to 54. And I think statistically, if you win both those stats categories, you win the game 80% of time. So they're certainly in amongst it from the statistic, but you just get the feeling St Kilda now starting to run over the top. And notice Armitage is back on the field and back into the rotation. So St Kilda with 3 on the bench.
We saw in three-quarter time that Fisher's one of his responsibilities in the last quarter is to make sure Pavlich doesn't go and take over the game. So just getting a goal out of him as he's coming upfield's a real bonus.
We're back where we were in the third quarter, 15-point margin, about the same time as well. But the Dockers must get the next, you'd think. Clark got it from Duffield. Mzungu, Fife. They've worked this okay. Lower had it stripped. Well played, Ray. That's a big play. Schneider to Graham. And then Graham to Revolt. Cozzy's running hard. The number 1 to the number 2 draft picked in the same year. So Cozzy tries to find and does. Goddard brilliantly done. And can the champ kick it? He does. He is silky. One to 2 to 1 goal.
Yeah, those midfield turnovers, they were trying to take the ball forward about Fremantle, but as soon as the St Kilda pressure got the ball back, well, the Fremantle defence is completely out position. Greenwald to space, Kazitsky run to space. And in that one-on-one deep in the forward line, Goddard kept his feet.
It was a great effort here by Farron Ray. It was to force the turnover. Fremantle were using the ball exceptionally well. The build-up from Revolt to Kazitsky and on to Goddard. It was a brutal mark from Goddard, just disposed of his direct opponent with brute strength. And he's got a class finish.
Biggest lead of the game then, 21 points. And St Kilda, 8 of the last 10 scoring shots. 4-4 to 2 behinds. Pavlich trying to lift his team. Stephen, though it is, who gets it out. Montagna, Kazitsky. Peak, who was very good early. Montagna finding space now. Goes out wide. Armitage. He's about 75 metres out from goal. Swings it down towards full forward. The mark is taken by Del Santo. Well, maybe Fremantle can't find any more. Every time tonight they've fallen off the pace, they've managed to come back. He's got to sort of tidy up his hand passing action, Lee Montagna. This would just about seal it. Under 9 minutes, Del Santo, he deserves a goal. He's played very well. And that's a beauty. Impeccable skill. Puts it through.
Interestingly, I mean, Goddard, Del Santo, who we talked a lot about, what great months they've had. They've come to the fore in the last quarter with goals.
Yeah, they have. They've worked themselves into the game. The St Kilda stoppers have done a good job, and now as the game's opened up a little bit, these real high-quality midfield group for St Kilda are taking control.
He's so skillful, isn't he? Del Santo, a couple of goals tonight, Goddard. So they're really top-class players. Eric Banner, such a fan looking on. Their top-class players have come to the fore in this last quarter. Fisher getting a goal as well. So you feel like the Dockers have run their race now. It's been a good race they've run. High tackle, free kick.
Let him up.
Saints kicked 3 goals with their last 8 kicks following the Del Santo one. Robertson. It seems a long time ago that Hill had a shot to put them in front. But this man, Mzungu, having career high again tonight. That's not one of his absolute best kicks. 30 disposals for the first time in his career. Graham's been good. Geary, the sub, running hard with a running bounce. Now Armitage just taking off hard. He's in a good spot. He takes a beauty.
See when he's come back on and contributed.
Yeah.
We thought he might have been down for the count. Rotations required by St Kilda. Set up the ball with Del Santo before with a pinpoint pass, and this is running back with the flight. Not much Duffield can do about that, but that's a fantastic effort.
You must be petrified as a defender when you've got to run back with a fly to the footy. You're trying to find your opponent. You're trying to find where the ball is. The forward has always got the advantage there. His head might be just cleared up sufficiently, Armitage.
So it's a surging Saints at the moment. 5 goals in the last 10 minutes. They're home.
Just starting to get back on top now with contested possessions, 119 to 117 for the night. And the clearances, they've been pretty dominant all night, 40 to 30. And Bruce touched on it, the really class players, Del Santo, Goddard, Montagna starting to get involved. Impressive.
Well, they're a tough four to come. Collingwood's always tough. Swans and Sydney's tough. Kangaroos and Carlton, so they've got all teams around the action.
Lee, can they do some damage, do you think, late in the year in September, the Saints?
No, I think the top few have got the others covered.
Clark tries to hook it down behind. Montagna runs into a dead end. Ball wedged in there, and the umpire will do it again.
Thanks, Justin. Thanks, Lee.
Well, after the start they had, St Kilda have done remarkably well to get back into contention, but just looking at that draw, still it doesn't come with guarantees. But of those sides in the logjam we spoke of at the start, all of them, with the exception of the Saints, will be hard-pressed to win in this round.
Under his legs.
Some tough
Let
games.
it go.
Even that, the 4 teams that St Kilda play, there's only 1 team below them on the ladder, so they've still got to play 3 teams above them, so certainly not an easy last 4.
Kazetsky up in front, directs it down. Fisher tries to feed it out, left behind by Stephen. Ray, he's worked hard, Ray. Battles with Ballantyne. Stephen, revolt. Dempster, peak to Dempster. And Dempster concedes going back to Clark. Haven't called his name very much recently. To centre half back and Fisher. And Fisher goes all the way back now to Blake. Nobody near Blake, so he could actually sit on the footy for a while and just dare them to come. He was 50 metres from a docker. This is Peak. Blake. So Fremantle need to push up and cover their men as Geary runs to the man with the football and takes them up.
What they're doing is what they've done all night. St Kilda playing one-on-one. They've obviously had a defensive mindset. So when you play one-on-one, you obviously can't squeeze because it means the St Kilda forwards can dictate where the Fremantle defenders start.
What's Blake's career high? I'll check with Josh as he goes towards the opposite pocket. It's taken there by Clark. Blake is up to 25 now. I'd say 24 of those have come in the last minute. Broughton, lower, inside the centre square. Kicks inside the 50, and that's a good mark, reaching over the top by Ballantyne. Now, the distance shouldn't be a problem from here, but the margin is. 33 points now. Fremantle gallant tonight, but just when it counted in this last quarter, St Kilda have got away, as most people thought they would. Ballantyne needs to start it right. Well, he starts at left, so it's got no hope. Oh, big league Johnson offhands Kepler. Throws it on the boot and hits the behind post. So a free kick to the Saints out on the full.
It's been hard on Ballantyne, but here's the blue there with Cosy and Pad. Been hard on Ballantyne, but we talked about him and Milne before the game. Milne's had the 4 goals.
Ballantyne hasn't been an influence all tonight.
No.
Darren Ray's become a really handy player for St Kilda. Obviously can do a variety of roles, and tonight's done a shutdown, small defensive role on Hayden Ballantyne.
So Milne got the free kick. Graham, now Schneider protected it pretty well. Fisher used the run of Schneider. Schneider running hard, switches it to Peak, and then Peak goes over the top, gets it to McAvoy, lopes in. How sweet it is.
The overlap cause then, once you're 1 player down, as the Saints are moving forward, Fife had to cover a man. Zach Clark also had to cover a man, and McAvoy was the one who got on the end of it.
The bounce out of defence in this last quarter has been really good, St Kilda, hasn't it? When the game opens up, the defensive pressure drops off a little bit as players get fatigued. Their ball movement has been really good. Just a matter of which of the St Kilda players was going to be the final receiver. Shot a goal. McAvoy was it. Look, Farrell's done really well on Rewald, but he still had 10 marks for Rewald, 17 disposals. I mean, for game weather, he might not have won his position. He's been still really solid.
After the bounce, Lower had his teammate fall on him. Fife, and we'll have another ball up. Actually, Josh took me seriously. He's come up with the game high for Blake, 31 against the Western Bulldogs, around 1709. In 194 games, never a Brownlow vote. Now, some of those are finals, but I'm not sure that's the major problem. Ball comes out towards Lower. Lower decides to run. Comes short. Johnson goes back towards the middle. Touched off the boot, so it's a live footy. It falls at the back. Broughton left it behind. Armitage did well. There's Blake again. Feeds it out to Jones. Jones. Clark. Geary. Running. Saints full of run at the moment. Goes down towards half forward. Revol. Tantalisingly close. It bounces out of bounds. And really behind Revolt, just two players. One of them is Milne, as we take a look at the live ladder.
Saints go above Sydney on percentage tonight. Swans, of course, have a massive match against the Bombers on the weekend. So they're the teams battling for that top 8. St Kilda's had a magnificent last 11 weeks now. They've got Collingwood here next Friday night, which is
a big game.
Yeah.
I mean, Collingwood have almost sewn up the top 1 or 2 spots anyway, even if they lost from now on. But St Kilda, they desperately need every win.
Well, they won 1 out of their first 7, the Saints. So this has been a really impressive effort by them. Quick kick by Barlow. Jones, what a game he's played. Back to Blake, he's getting closer, Dennis. Back he goes to Clark. Switches to Ray. And then Ray with some run. As Tom said, there was a big moment in this last quarter where Ray was able to get a turnover going. Gilbert, 50th consecutive game for him tonight. Armitage, back to Fisher, back to Armitage. High ball to full forward. Milne lurking again. Still might get his 300. No, they get him. I reckon he'd rather get against Collingwood, wouldn't he?
He made a good decision. Then he actually thought about, was he going to try and jump third up, but went to the crumbing position, got the ball in hands.
If you're a small forward looking at home, that's exactly how you do it. A young fella, you get to the front of the ball, front of the pack.
Yeah, tell Acker to get to the front of the pack. Fife. Across it comes to Grover, but only as far as Gilbert. So Gilbert's got the footy. It's about 60 metres out. Centering ball. Main outnumbered. Kazitsky did well. Down to the man with the bung thumb. Goes back to Geary, does Polo. Pushing the back against Schneider.
Push. Fremantle.
So how do you reckon we go, Bruce? Blake has got 27. If Tim were to go to the umpires as they're coming off and say, look, he hasn't got a Brownlow medal vote. It's like when the Berlin Wall came down. Same deal. We need to know. He could get one tonight, Blake.
You're working hard on a lost cause, I reckon.
Solidarity, you reckon. Ball bounces up towards the wing. Slipped away by Graham as he was walking off the ground. That was the drive-by possession. Now in midfield, Fisher. There's danger. Ray. Underestimated player for the Saints. He goes long down towards full forward. Bounces off the chest of Silvani. And across the line for a behind.
To give him a chance next week, Tom Lee against the Pies?
Well, just at the moment, you could never tip anyone really against Collingwood, but at least they're pretty good form. They look like they've all got through again. So they've got a good stability within their team over this last couple of months.
It'll feel a bit more like a grand final replay than it would have about 6 weeks ago, won't it? So Goddard getting one back and going and kicking a behind. So it's going to be fascinating how Collingwood treat D'Alessandro and Goddard. I mean, Collingwood generally don't run. I mean, they'll just back their men in, won't they?
Yeah, I think they will. I think Collingwood will really look forward to the challenge of playing, well, as I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, that St Kilda have been as good as any in the last month.
And the Dockers have got a really tough draw. Unfortunately for the Dockers, they've got all the big teams at home and all the other teams that that they probably would be favoured against if they're playing them in Perth. They've got to play them in Melbourne. So they've got an awkward draw, haven't they, for the rest of this season. So Maine, who had a good first half, good 2.5 quarters. We'll try and have a look at the Dockers next 4. Here we go. So Carlton and Collingwood both in Perth, and North Melbourne and the Bulldogs both here. You'd love to flip-flop that, wouldn't you?
It's certainly hard with the personnel they've got at the moment. Lower. Down went Ibbotson. Over the top, Del Santo. That could be holding the ball. No. Nothing against Pearce. So the ball up inside the last minute, 113-72. So at the end, a comfortable victory to the Saints, who just keep on powering on. This makes it 6 straight. Clark off the foot of Del Santo, out of bounds on the full.
It's quite reminiscent, St Kilda's seasons of Hawthorn's last year with a really slow start. Powered through the middle latter part, but then obviously stumbled in the first week of the finals. That's obviously what St Kilda would not want to happen in the first week of the finals should they get there.
Rover. Duffield. This young man's had a breakout game tonight. No Sandilands, no Griffin. A lot of the football and generally the dominant ruckman. He sends it down towards half forward. Gilbert surprised it got to him, I think. Silvani tries to knock it across to McPhee, who's on report. He'll be hard-pressed, I think, to win at the tribunal.
Again, it's only the Cats and Collingwood have managed 6 wins in a row this season. They've added to that, so the Saints will become only the 3rd team this year to win 6 in a row.
In good company, Bruce.
They are. It's a mighty good effort. 9 of their last 11 and 6 straight. And he's had a big part in that. I mean, a lot of talk about Goddard at the start of this season, maybe underperforming, but he's turned an average season into a very good one. Along with Del Santo, Goddard working hard, Ray's been good. Chipolo's been brave. Big win. They win 6 in a row. They keep it going towards September in a mighty last quarter. 113-72. I didn't see 41 points coming. It looked like the Dockers were there for the long haul. But
it's a good goal in the last quarter, Bruce. 2 behinds only, just to Fremantle.
A lot talked at 3/4 time about who would step up, and it was the Del Santos and the Goddards and the Fishers. They were terrific. Cozzy was good tonight. Made a big contribution as Barlow and a couple of his Victorian mates. As we go down to you, Tim, with Justin Kaczynski.
Well, a very good first quarter, a great last quarter, and a great battle in between.
Yeah, absolutely. It was footy war, and we knew they'd come to play their side with great character and backs against the wall. So they gave it to us, and we, held on.
The side's been often criticised about the lack of attacking flair, but I mean, it was really on display in the last quarter.
Yeah, look, we knew 3/4 time was tight. We knew we just had to keep working hard and break the game open and come for us.
And what about your own form? You must be starting to feel really good about the way you're just being able to roll along at the moment.
Yeah, look, the suspension probably was all right. In the end, I was able to go back and concentrate on training and drop a bit of weight and get running fit again and just starting to feel good again. So, hopefully we've got a bit left in the tank.
And the team's really starting to gel.
Yeah, look, we took a stand about 10 weeks ago now, and we really wanted to gain some respect that we'd eroded early in the year. So, we're a little way to doing that, and we're going to continue to keep working hard.
Well done. Big game next week.
Yeah, he played well, Kaczynski. Similar stats to Revolt tonight. He had 9 marks and 17 disposals. Goddard looking the worse for wear. Terrific final turn. Key goal, which really made it very hard for the Dockers. So they kicked 7 goals, 6-2 behinds from very, very late in the 3rd quarter. And Tim, Stephen Milne sits on 299 goals, equal with Matthew Lloyd at the stadium.
Well, you got very close again to kicking that 300th goal. Is it on your mind at all here?
I actually didn't know till the start of the game. One of the boys kind of told me, but no, don't about that. It's more about the win. We're great tonight. Went to sleep in the 2nd quarter, but You know, to come out in the last quarter and play like we did, it's a great effort.
You had a great battle with Grover tonight.
Yeah, it's a good play. Players really tight and kind of got him a luck a couple of times in the end, but no, it was a good battle.
And starting to find some real space in the forward line too.
Yeah, it's good. We're all working together, and you know, we're starting to hit some form, and Cozzy's starting to pluck a few, so we're working well.
Starting to get confident about your chances in the finals now?
Long way to go yet, Tim. There's 4 weeks to go. We've got a massive game next week against the Pies, benchmark of the competition, so it's going to be another good test.
That'll be a great challenge next week.
Yeah, can't wait.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Tim. Cheers.
He's in career best form, I reckon, at 31 years of age. He's kicked 24 goals in his last 6 matches. There's Polo with the bung thumb. Fisher outstanding. So Stevie Milne, 480 career goals, 299 here. That will be one of the talking points next week when they play the Pies. It was a terrific night at Etihad. More to come on 7. But Friday night football concludes with the Saints 41-point winners over the Dockers.